Let's make this episode a special one by just being ourselves and loving ourselves just the way we are. Lego. Another piece on religion. Let's see what they're talking about. I ain't seen this before. Let's start out. Is this true right here? You can't confess or believe of anything for their beliefs. It's not based on evidence. It's based on a deep need to believe. Is that true?
Why do so many people believe things that make no sense? Not just unusual things, but entire systems of belief that ask for total commitment while offering no clear evidence, no reliable logic, and no consistent truth. Organized religion is one of those systems. It presents itself as a path to truth, to morality, and to meaning. But when you look closely, none of it holds up. It looks more like a house built on stories, fear, repetition, and authority. And yet, billions follow it. Let's start with something simple. If a religion claims to be the one true path, then by definition, every other religion must be wrong. But there are thousands of religions and tens of thousands of sects. They all make exclusive claims. They all think they are right, which means most of them, maybe all of them, have to be wrong. They can't all be right, but they can all be wrong. This isn't just a numbers game. It's a reality check. If you were born in India, you'd likely be Hindu. If you were born in Iran, you'd probably be Muslim. If you were born in Italy, chances are you'd grow up Catholic.
If you're
God damn. They come with these.
still using old school like always be closing or boiler room techniques or
Your religion is tied
Hold on, they made me lose my thought. And they're talking about the different places if you're born and what you'll probably be. And if you was a Christian, if you was a black Christian and you went to jail, you're gonna be Muslim when you come out.
tied to geography, not truth. That's not a path to divine insight. That's a map of inherited tradition. Religions don't spread because they're true. They spread through power, through conquest, through law, through childhood conditioning. Think about it. When was the last time you heard someone say they independently researched every religion and landed on the one they happened to be born into? It doesn't happen. People are handed their beliefs long before they can think critically. That's not education.
Do you believe in your deity because you studied or the deity came to you and talked to you? Or are you following your parents' deity and who they were worshiping?
That's indoctrination. The deeper problem is this: religions ask you to believe without evidence.
Sorry, indoctrination equals child abuse.
In any other part of life, this would be a red flag. If a stranger told you he could cure cancer with moonlight, you'd ask for proof. But if someone
Right.
tells you God spoke through a bush or dictated a book to a man in a cave, you're not supposed to question it.
Right.
You're supposed to believe it and feel
Right.
guilty if you don't.
Right.
Organized religion thrives on guilt. It tells you that you are broken, that you are born sinful, that you are constantly being watched, that your thoughts are not your own. And then it offers you forgiveness, but only on its terms, only if you submit. That's not love. That's
You can be the most horrible person in the world. You can kill, you can rape, you can steal. And in these in the Christianity ideology, I don't know about Muslims and Judaism, but I think so too. You can be the horrible person, and all you have to do is say to the deity, "Forgive me for my transgressions, for my sins," and your slate is wiped clean. None of those murders, none of those rapes, nothing is over your head. You're a clean, whole person. All you have to do is say, "Forgive me." It's just not how life works.
psychological control. And then there's the obsession with obedience, not ethics, not compassion, obedience. Many religions don't ask you to think, they ask you to follow. The rules are often arbitrary. No pork, no shellfish, no sex before marriage, no working on a certain day, cover your hair, don't eat during daylight. These rules vary wildly from religion to religion. So, which ones are right? They can't all be. Most are completely unrelated to human well-being, but they all claim to be sacred. Sacred. That word gets used to end conversations. Once something is declared sacred, you're not supposed to question it. You're not supposed to touch it with logic. But anything that's afraid of questions was never strong to begin with. Truth doesn't mind scrutiny. It welcomes it. Only lies fear being challenged. Some argue that religion gives people purpose, but purpose doesn't need mythology. You don't need a creation myth to be kind. You don't need a divine reward to be moral. If someone only does good because they want paradise, or avoids evil because they fear punishment, what does that say about their character?
It's a bad. That's a bad person. If you have to do good to, if you have to do something good or something that's positive, and you're doing it only just because you think that you're going to go to heaven or you're going to get a reward for it, you're not a good person. And for most people that are in religion, most people are horrible people. They are horrible people because they'll cuss you out in Jesus' name. Like, fuck you, bitch, in Jesus' name. Like, that's what they do. That's what they say. And you know I ain't lying.
Morality based on fear or bribery isn't morality. It's compliance. The idea that we need religion to be good is insulting. It assumes that without a God watching us, we'd all be monsters.
Right.
But most people already act with decency, not because of religion, but in spite of it.
In a world where you've constantly been told what you can't do, who will you choose to be when presented with something different? Ask your healthcare provider what could be.
This is what the world's most advanced
They
PC
even with the
looks
tooth
like.
In fact, some of the most moral advances in history came from people who challenged religious authority, who stood up against dogma. Abolitionists, scientists, human rights advocates, they often faced religious opposition. Let's talk about the scriptures. These are supposed to be the words of an all-knowing being, but they read like books written by ancient men. They reflect the biases, fears, and ignorance of their time. They contain violence, slavery, misogyny, tribalism, and revenge. They include
And that's the good book.
stories of talking animals, magic tricks, and genocides carried out in the name of love. If you read these stories,
Talking donkeys. I have smart friends. But the Bible makes them go against their common sense, because I know for a fact that they know that a donkey cannot communicate with a human in the same language as a human. Now they can communicate, but as far as the donkey talking back, just like I'm talking, they know that this is impossible. But in the Bible, it says the donkey talked. So by them having to believe this, they have to say a donkey talked, which makes them kind of look like a donkey, trying to be nice.
stories in any other context, you'd laugh.
But I said, be yourself. So I'm gonna be nice still, though.
But because they're labeled sacred, people defend them. Some try to cherry pick the nice parts. Others say it's all metaphor. But if you have to explain away every uncomfortable part as symbolic, why take it literally at all? Why not just read it as mythology and move on? And then there's prayer. Billions of people pray. Some pray for health, others for money, some for protection. But outcomes don't seem to follow effort. The sick still die. The poor stay poor. The innocent still suffer.
Just use one example. My mother. Everybody came, prayed for her, that she had cancer, prayed for her that she lived. I have people in my family that are deeply religious. I have pastors, all of this in my family. They all prayed. My mother still died. Now, I know that if you live, you're gonna die. Pretty much everything it lives is gonna die. So when she died, then that's where they are like, now God is also being good by letting her die. But they were praying for her to live. And once again, if you're praying, aren't you asking, or in a prayer, if your God has someone to be going to die, why would you ask for them to live? Because you're asking God to change his plans. And who are you to ask your being to change his plans? And why would you do that? Let him die. When the thunderstorms come and lightning strikes and kills people, and hurricane comes and kill people, or a tsunami comes and kills people, why are you praying? Because this is what God wanted in the ideology. Let it happen. Be happy that the tsunami came and wiped out everybody, because that's what was wanted from your God.
When prayers are answered, it's seen as divine. When they're not, it's seen as mysterious. Either way, the belief is protected. That's not logic. That's
Right.
confirmation bias.
Right.
Religions often claim to bring peace, but history tells a different story. Wars have been fought over gods. People have been tortured, exiled, and burned alive over doctrine. Even
There you
today,
go.
people are killed over blasphemy, over disbelief, over cartoons. How can a belief in an all-loving being lead to so much hate? It's because religion doesn't just define truth, it defines enemies. Once someone is labeled a heretic, an infidel, an unbeliever, it becomes easier to dehumanize them. This isn't a bug in religion, it's a feature. Organized religion depends on authority, not earned authority, but claimed authority. Priests, imams, rabbis, they are treated as voices of God, but they're just people, trained not in science or ethics.
Right. Like, these people are going to church every Sunday to listen to someone preach to them. Why does your God have to speak through another person to tell you something? Why wouldn't this deity just speak to you and tell you? Why do you have to go somewhere else to listen to someone else?
But in doctrine, they often hold disproportionate power over education, over families, over governments. And that power isn't always used for good. In many places, religion still dictates law. It decides what women can wear, who people can love, what books can be read. It shapes politics. It shapes healthcare. It shapes what children are taught in schools. This isn't faith. It's control dressed up as virtue. And yet, even with all this influence, religion still claims to be persecuted. It demands special respect, special exemptions, special rights. But why should belief be shielded from criticism? Why should faith be above questioning when every other idea must stand on evidence? There's a double standard. If you say the earth is flat, people will correct you. But if you say the creator of the universe wants you to follow dietary laws from the Bronze Age, people nod politely. That's not respect. That's fear of offending belief.
Hey, it's Adam with Vanish. All right, so what you've just seen right there is
And it's holding us back. Religion doesn't just conflict with science, it resists progress. It teaches that the answers are already written, that the books are closed, that curiosity is dangerous. But reality is not a closed system. The universe is not finished, and neither is our understanding of it. We now know how disease spreads. We know how planets form. We know how species evolve. We've mapped the genome. We've photographed black holes. But religion is still trying to explain the world with stories written by people who thought the earth was flat.
And science doesn't have all the answers also. There's a lot of things that we are still searching for, and a lot of things that we'll never know that religion says it has the answer for. But the universe in 6 days, not a good answer.
And the stars were holes in the sky. It's not just outdated, it's incompatible with honest inquiry. Religion asks you to trust, even when the facts say otherwise. To believe, even when reason says stop. To surrender your doubts, instead of exploring them. That's not a path to wisdom, that's a path to submission. Organized religion often presents itself as a path to truth, but it starts with conclusions and works backwards. It tells you what is true before you have a chance to discover anything. That's not a journey, that's a script. And questioning the script is treated as betrayal. The moment a child begins to ask, why? Religion supplies a fixed answer. Why are we here? God. What happens after death? Heaven or hell? Why do bad things happen? It's a test. Every question has a shortcut.
Who's been to heaven? Who's been to hell to tell you about these places?
A placeholder. A pre-packaged explanation that doesn't invite discovery. It replaces wonder with obedience. And yet the answers are never clear. Ask 10 religious leaders the same question, and you'll get 10 different answers. Some
Correct.
say God is personal. Some say he's abstract. Some say he's loving. Others say he's vengeful. Some say he's everywhere. Others say he lives in a place. The contradictions pile up, but followers are taught to never see them as contradictions. In any other system, this would fall apart. If a university professor constantly contradicted himself, you'd question his credibility. But in religion, the contradictions are sacred. They're labeled as mysteries. It's a clever way of avoiding the obvious. If something doesn't make sense,
Back to my mother. I forgot about this. I want to say this. Now, if you had a doctor and he performed as the God, if he has the same results as God, I guarantee you that that doctor would be sued for malpractice. He's coming to you saying that he's the best doctor in the world, so he should be able to save you. And if he does not save you and you die, the whole family will be suing. They will not be happy with that doctor. But with the Jesus God doctor, once he doesn't fix you or you die, then the doctor is praised. Let's hold him to the same standard as we do regular doctors. If you have a doctor, you're going to sue him if he does anything wrong. And in this case, the Dr. God, when he does something wrong, he's praised. Thank you for killing my loved one. You knew what was best for them. It's not right.
wrap it in mystery, and tell people it's beyond human understanding. But that excuse has limits, because religion doesn't just describe the unknowable. It claims to know the unknowable. It speaks for the creator of the universe. It tells you what he wants, who he loves, who he hates, what you should wear, what you should say, who you can marry, and how you should die. These are not small claims. They demand enormous evidence, but the evidence is always missing. Some argue that religion is just metaphor, that it's not meant to be taken literally. But if that's true, why are laws written based on it? Why are wars fought over it?
The thing about me and money is, I haven't really focused on it. Squirrel!
Why are people killed for insulting it? Metaphors don't start crusades. Myths don't create theocracies. Religion only pretends to be symbolic when the facts catch up. Let's talk about the idea of divine morality. Many people believe religion gives us a moral compass, but religious morality is inconsistent. In some traditions, morality means covering your head. In others, it means killing apostates. In some, it's a sin to draw a picture. In others, it's a sin to dance. These aren't universal truths. They're cultural rules elevated by authority. If morality came from a god, we wouldn't need ethics classes. We wouldn't need courts or debates or discussion. But we do, because we disagree. Because moral understanding evolves. What was once considered moral, slavery, child marriage, blood sacrifice, is now condemned. Not because of religion, but because of progress in human thought.
If the black people love the Bible so much, so that's a problem. Why would you not want to be still in slavery? Why did you want to come out of this? This is what God had for you. So why come out of that? Why not be still in those slavery times?
Morality is shaped by empathy, experience, and reason, not by ancient texts. Organized religion doesn't evolve easily. It resists change. It holds tightly to traditions, even when they cause harm. It took centuries for the church to admit the earth goes around the sun. It took lifetimes to accept that disease is not caused by demons. Even today, many religious institutions fight against gender equality, LQB rights, and scientific education. This resistance isn't accidental, it's structural. If religion admits it was wrong about one thing, it risks unraveling the whole system. That's why it clings to dogma, not because it's right, but because it's afraid to be wrong. Look at how religion handles doubt. Doubt is punished. Questioning is framed as weakness. Some people are taught that even thinking the wrong thought is a sin. This is mental policing. It doesn't encourage growth. It breeds fear, and fear keeps people loyal, not because they're convinced, but because they're afraid of the consequences if they're not. In some countries, leaving religion is a crime. In others, it means being cut off from family, community, or career. This isn't a system that respects personal freedom. It's one that enforces identity through threat of punishment. And still, we're told religion brings peace. But peace built on silence, shame, and submission is not peace. It's a quiet form of control. True peace comes from understanding, from honesty, from allowing people to be who they are, not from threatening them with eternal fire if they don't believe a certain myth.
Right.
Speaking of fire, let's talk about hell.
Let's
The
talk
idea
about
that a loving God would create a place of eternal torture is absurd. No crime deserves infinite punishment. And yet, billions are taught that if they don't follow specific rituals or beliefs, they will suffer forever. That's not justice. That's psychological abuse.
Right.
And who gets
I often ask people, you at the pearly gates, your mother goes to hell. You're with your mother. She goes to hell. No. Or your kid, your loved one goes to hell. God tells you, come on in. It's a party. How do you exist knowing that your loved one is in a place of torment, burning and screaming and gnashing of teeth? How do you exist knowing these things? How is heaven a good place, knowing that your loved one is burning forever and ever? Doesn't sound like a good place to me, but hey.
get saved? That depends on the religion. In one, you must accept Jesus. In another, you must follow the 5 pillars. In another, you must keep kosher laws. Everyone believes they have the right formula. Everyone else is damned. This isn't unity. It's tribalism wearing spiritual clothes.
Right.
Religions often speak of unity, but they draw lines. They divide the world into us and them. Believers and non-believers, saved and lost, chosen and condemned. This division creates conflict, suspicion, and hatred. It's not the path to global harmony. It's the source of endless strife. The more you look at it, the more organized religion looks like a self-protecting system. It creates the disease, guilt, fear, confusion, and then sells the cure. It tells you you're broken, and then offers salvation. But you can only get it through them, through their rituals.
Fear. Now, I hang around, or used to hang around, and still do be around some of the, what you want to call, some of the hardest individuals on the planet. They'll curse you out, beat you up, do some bad things to you. But I know how to control them. I know that if I come over there and say, hey man, say it's a crowd of them, and I come and I say, hey, fuck Jesus, fuck God. Those hard individuals, their blood turns into piss and Kool-Aid mixed together. They can't stand it. Now, if I know I can control these people and their emotions by just saying this, think about the most powerful people on the planet. If I know that I can control your emotions by saying this, just think what they know. And they got more power to manipulate things. So superstition ain't the way. Stevie Wonder, yeah.
Their leaders, their rules. It's not about truth, it's about control. And that control stretches into money. Religion is one of the most profitable industries on earth. Tax-free empires, mega churches, private jets, gold-plated altars. Meanwhile, believers are told to sacrifice, to give, to trust.
Should be a preacher. I'm gonna say I should be a preacher because I don't want to mislead anybody like that. And I thought I did love money and making money, but I couldn't tell these lies to people. And like this video, if I was to, this video probably won't get 0 views. But if I was a preacher and saying about the goodness of Jesus, and I know this, I could make a lot of money. But hey, I ain't gonna make a lot of money because I'm not gonna be lying to nobody, and I'm not gonna be telling them about a fairy tale. Yeah, the tooth fairy is not coming. The tooth fairy, I'm sorry, baby. The tooth fairy not real. That money that you're gonna get, that's gonna come from me. Santa Claus is not real. Those gifts that you're getting is not from Santa, it's from me. When your friend is stuck on the highway, then you stop, they call you, and then you pick them up and fix their car and you help them. The first thing that's going to be out their mouth is going to be something very, very, very insulting. And they're going to say, "Thank you, Jesus." And you done wasted all of your time and effort trying to help them. And they're going to give, just like they wanted praise for their giving their kid the gift, they're not going to give you praise. They're gonna give Santa Claus the praise while you sitting there wasting your time helping them out, and they just like no. Or they may give you some praise because they're gonna say, well, if Jesus hadn't put it on your heart to come and help me, it's like people can't do any right by themselves. They have to have an being help them. I don't have to have a being help me to do something right. I can do right by just doing right and not being wrong, because I'm a sensible, nice human being, I think.
This is not spiritual guidance. This is economic exploitation. And it's not isolated. From televangelists selling holy water to clerics controlling political budgets, religion has always had its hands on power and wealth, and it rarely uses that power to challenge corruption or lift the oppressed.
Once again, sorry. Never forget, the most money that I seen as a kid, my first time seeing a lot of money was at my pastor's home when his son went into the kitchen cabinet. And when he opened up the kitchen cabinet, they had a whole bunch of greenbacks up there. I'll never forget. Whole bunch of greenbacks. He got the greenbacks down, peeled off some and gave it to me and told me go to the store. I'll never forget that. They had a lot of money. My mother El Gato, my mother helped fund that. The whole community helped give them a better life. While we were struggling, we were helping them in a better life, which is not bad, but do it in the right way to get help, not tell lies to people. And maybe they wasn't telling lies because maybe they believed it too. So I don't know.
More often, it aligns with the powerful, supports the status quo, and silences dissent. Even when it does promote charity, it often comes with strings attached. Food and aid are tied to conversion. Schools are used to push doctrine. Orphanages are used to recruit loyalty. Help is not given freely. It is traded for belief. Organized religion speaks of humility, but it claims to know the mind of the Creator. It speaks of love, but it condemns those who love the wrong people. It speaks of peace, but it divides and wounds. The language of religion is beautiful, but language isn't truth.
I'm hosting a live 5-day challenge called Crush Your Commissions, and in that training, it's designed for you.
The world is full of beautiful lies. There's nothing wrong with asking questions about existence. Why are we here? What matters? What should we do with our lives? But those are human questions, and we should be free to answer them using the tools we trust: science, philosophy, art, conversation, experience. Religion tells you the questions are already answered, that the answers are in a book, that you just need to stop thinking and start believing. But real thinking never stops.
Right.
It deepens, it
Right.
doubts, it
Right.
grows.
Right.
The truth is, we don't know all the answers,
No.
and that's okay.
That's okay.
Uncertainty isn't weakness, it's honesty. Admitting we don't
I spoke with a friend the other day, and he was like, "What are the answers? Why don't you have an answer? Why give me an answer to these things?" And the answer was that I gave was, "We don't know." That's not acceptable. He wanted an answer, but the answer is we don't know, and that's fine.
know opens the door to discovery. Pretending we know, based
Right.
on ancient stories and circular logic, only closes it.
Right.
Organized religion is not just a belief, it's a framework, a system built over
A belief is a doubt. It's not a belief that I have on a MAGA hat. Make America Great Again. That's not a belief. I know this, so I don't have to believe it. A belief is a doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that this is a red MAGA hat. Is it a belief for you, or do you know it? A belief is a doubt. You don't know. That's fine. But if you're trying to push your belief on someone, why are you trying to push your doubt on someone else? I'll push to the end of eternity that this is a red MAGA hat.
over generations, not to explore truth, but to preserve authority. It teaches people to stop thinking beyond a certain point, to accept what they're told, to confuse submission with virtue. But submission is not a virtue, it's a pause button on curiosity. Think about how religion protects itself. It's built on insulation. It surrounds its ideas with fear, shame, ritual, repetition, and group identity. Doubt is framed as betrayal. Disagreement is punished. Apostasy is condemned. This is not the behavior of truth, it's the behavior of ideology. Religions reward certainty, even when it's unearned. The more certain you are in your belief, the more devout you are seen to be. But in science, in philosophy, in honest thinking, the most dangerous stance is false certainty. Believing you know something you don't is how you stop learning. It's how you build castles on sand. We are told to admire faith, but
Believing in something that you don't is how you stop learning. Never stop learning. Always ask questions. Question your questions times 5. Research, dig.
faith means believing without evidence. That is not a strength. That is the exact definition of gullibility. In any other part of life, this would be a mistake. But religion flips the script and calls it sacred. It asks for mental gymnastics. Believe that a book written thousands of years ago by people who didn't know about germs, atoms, galaxies, or human psychology somehow contains the answers to everything. That the creator of the universe cares more about how you trim your beard than about curing disease or ending hunger. You are taught that your deepest identity must come from people you've never met, writing laws you didn't choose, in a language you don't speak, during a time when slavery was normal and stoning was justice.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
If this weren't religion,
In the book talks about stoning kids, children, stoning kids if they are disobedient or something like that. You know what I'm talking about if you're in the Bible. Stone your kids. Like, come on. Like, that's horrible. And then you will have people trying to justify this, the stoning of kids. Now just think about if you were stoning your kids today in 2025. You pretty much right now in 2025, you pretty much can't even pick a belt up, you better not hit a kid with a belt. It's gonna be you going to jail. So yeah, if you stoning kids, hey, live by the Bible if you want to. Right now, matter of fact, I dare you to live by the Bible. And your kid disobeys or does something disrespectful to the parent, stone them. See what happened to you. See where you're going, and tell them, hey, I'm a Christian and I was going by the Bible. That's what my religion says. And the court gonna tell you, go to jail or prison, and do not collect your $200. Straight to jail.
Religion, we'd call it absurd. But it is religion, so we're told to call it holy. And these teachings are passed down with intensity. Not because they make sense, but because they're wrapped in emotion, in fear of death, in longing for purpose, in love for family, in belonging. And these things are real, but religion hijacks them. It exploits our emotions to keep the machine running. It teaches children that their eternal fate depends on following a path they never chose, that questioning it could cost them everything. This is not education. It's not spiritual exploration. It's emotional blackmail. You are told to be grateful for this system, to thank the heavens for rules you never wrote, for guilt you never asked for rituals that no longer serve you. You are told that without it, you'd be lost. But being lost is better than being trapped in a maze built by other people's fears.
Goddamn right.
What's strange is that religion claims to free you, but its freedom is conditional. You are free, as long as you don't ask the wrong questions, or love the wrong person, or walk away from the group. You are free, as long as your freedom looks like obedience.
Pause. Have you ever questioned yourself, what are those things that are always around the head? Why does Jesus always have the sun around his head? What's the symbolism? Have you ever questioned yourself that? Why is Easter always when it's a full moon? Well, around the full moon. Why? If Jesus died on a certain date, why is that date not known? Why is it always around the moon? And why does he always have the sun around his head? Symbolism plays a big part in society, whether you know it or not.
Obedience. There's no real safety in that. Real safety comes from truth, and truth can stand on its own. It doesn't need robes, incense, or temples. It doesn't need threats or promises. It just needs evidence and time. The universe is vast, mysterious, and beautiful. That alone is enough. You don't need invisible judges or eternal courts. You don't need to beg for forgiveness from something that hasn't introduced itself. You don't need to feel broken just for existing. If we need guidance, we have reason. If we need meaning, we can build it. If we need morality, we can shape it through compassion, not commandments. The more you question, the clearer it becomes. Organized religion is not here to help you think. It's here to stop you from thinking too much. It gives answers that can't be questioned. It claims authority that can't be challenged. And it calls this humility. But there is nothing humble about claiming to speak for the creator of the universe. What makes religion dangerous is not just that it's wrong, but that it closes the door. It teaches people to stop looking, to stop doubting, to stop changing. It claims perfection and then resists correction. That's not just unhelpful, that's toxic. There is nothing wrong with seeking meaning. There is nothing wrong with wondering about life and death. But the answers we accept should earn our trust. They should be open to question.
Over 8,000 men have permanently broken free from the P word by watching one single video training that you can actually watch by clicking the link below.
They should be supported by reason, not wrapped in fear. Some say that religion gives people comfort, but comfort is not a measure of truth. A fairy tale can bring comfort. A lie can be soothing. But when comfort demands that we...
And boy, now you know that people love lies. If you're watching this, you know that a lie is more comforting than the truth. People don't want to hear the truth. Lie to them. Like I said, this video won't be watched because it's going to be filled with truth. People don't want to hear truth. YouTube don't want to spread truth. They want to spread the lies. If I was a preacher, I come across your timeline all the time. You're telling the truth about religion. This video have 2 views in 2035.
We stop thinking, it becomes a prison disguised as a blanket. And that's what organized religion often is, a beautiful cage, a polished, ornate, golden cage, built with ritual, decorated with song, but a cage nonetheless. It limits your thinking, it demands obedience, it punishes curiosity. The human mind is capable of incredible things. We have mapped the structure of DNA. We've walked on the moon, we've cured diseases, written...
No, I don't know about that shit. No, I'm talking about walking on the moon. Maybe went a little too far right there. All right. Now that's a belief that I have that has been, so I doubt it, but I don't know. But it's highly unlikely that someone has been to the moon and haven't been back. But that's not what this video is about.
Symphonies, and uncovered the age of stars. And yet, we still kneel before ancient myths as if they are the final word. It doesn't have to be that way. We can grow, we can think, we can admit what we don't know, and that is powerful. To live without pretending, to question what others fear, to build our ethics from empathy.
Damn. Black people. Doctrines of discovery. Doctrines of discovery. Find out what that is. And leave it in the comments what the doctrine of discovery is. If you don't already know. Find out and let me know what it is in the comments, please. Well, in 2035, I'll probably have 2 comments.
Empathy, not edicts. The more you strip religion of its rituals and its robes, the more clearly you see it. It's a story, one of many, told by men who didn't know where lightning came from, who didn't know the world was round, who didn't understand the brain or the body or the cosmos, and yet they are treated as oracles. They are not. They were guessing, like all humans do, and they were wrong. And we
just like me. How can I go to a church with a man talking about a person died for 3 days and came back to life? Talked to his 12 homeboys, and then after he talked to them, he flew away from the planet. How can I take this person seriously? How can I learn from this person when they're telling me that donkeys talk to people? How can I go to this place when they will sit and tell me that the oldest human on the planet was over 900 years old? What can they can teach me something, but they're telling me a lot of false things. I can't say that they can't teach me anything, but when they're telling me that, they're insulting my intelligence. Don't play with me. You're not going to tell me that a man killed over 1,000 people with a donkey jawbone. Okay, come on, man.
We should say so, not to mock, not to shame, but to move forward. Organized religion doesn't make sense because it's not supposed to. It's not built for reason. It's built for tradition, for loyalty, for control. And the only way it survives is if we keep confusing submission for wisdom. But wisdom doesn't wear a robe. Wisdom doesn't punish doubt. Wisdom listens, it learns, it grows, and it never hides behind mystery. You are allowed to think for yourself. You are allowed to say, this doesn't make sense. You are allowed to walk away from stories that no longer serve you. Thanks for watching. If you've ever found yourself questioning religion, you're not alone. Let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.
All right. I don't have too much commentary at the end. I had a lot during it, so just all I can do is tell you to study what you believe in. Just study. You'll come up with an answer. You don't have to believe. You can know some things. You don't have to believe. Love yourself. Treat yourself. Don't beat yourself. Holla.